Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Matchday Live. The players are arriving at Elland Road for today's 5:30 Premier League kickoff. Now, City are looking to complete their first league double over Leeds since 81-82, a season that saw Leeds relegated from the top flight. Now, City won, of course, the reverse fixture against Leeds this season, 7-0. And there are 3 occasions when we've scored 10 or more goals against an opponent within a single Premier League season. That was Watford, of course, where we scored 12, 19-20. Norwich in 11-12, when we scored 11 goals past them. And Tottenham in the 13-14 season, when we scored 11 goals past them. So the team are arriving, and we will give you the team news the second that we are allowed to. Thank you so much for joining us on Matchday Live. I'm Natalie Pike, and I am joined in the studio by 3 very shiny trophies and 2 very shiny guests. It is Joleon, Lescott and Paul Dickov. Hello. Oh, we've got the team news. I'm not going to give you a chance to speak. Sorry there. Oh. Hold your thoughts. We've got the team news for you straight away. So I can tell you that there are 5 changes from the team that beat Real Madrid midweek. So in goal, it is Edison. And then you have your back 4, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte and Ake. And then it is Rodri, Gundogan, Foden, Sterling, Jesus and Grealish starts. So your subs for today is Stefan, Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Silva, Fernandinho, Mahrez, and then 3 of our under-23s that played and won the league last night. It is Egan Riley, Mbete and McAtee. So that is 5 changes from the team that beat Real Madrid midweek. So, sorry, Joleon, you may talk now. What do you make of that team?
Yeah, good team, strong team. I can see why potentially resting Kevin. I'm sure he's going to play against Real Madrid. But confident. Me and Paul were then speaking who's going to play in midfield out of Phil Foden or Jack Grealish. I think it's going to be Jack. Dickov thinks it's going to be Phil. We'll see who's right.
So do you think the graphic's wrong then? Because we've got Jack right on the graphic. We've got him right up front.
Yeah, I think whoever made that graphic is wrong. No, but yeah, I just think that with Phil playing potentially starting against Real Madrid, the load will be heavier in midfield. So I just think it'll be a similar role for him as what he's done in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
you perhaps think, Dickie, that it'll be Grealish?
Yeah, I think Jack will play wide. I just think Phil Foden, whenever you play him, super impressive anyway. But like that front 4 or 5 will interchange all the way throughout the game. You know, you won't see the false 9 being the same false 9 throughout. You know, Jack will be up there. Phil could even be up there at times. Raheem. So, but it's a strong team. You know, that attacking wise, could even see a 4-2-4 and be a little bit. You know, with Rodri and Gundogan sitting a bit more, have 2 wide players and the 2 players sort of. One plays a 10, one plays a false 9. So, but super talented team, and you know the best thing about this is all these players can play anywhere when needed. Of course, we want your reaction to the team news as well, so you can send that in through WhatsApp. We'll be giving you the number soon. Of course, you can ask the guests anything that you would like on that WhatsApp number. And yes, do let us know your thoughts on this team as well. Now, we know, Dickie, obviously, that we do rotate a lot. We know that you have to have a good, big squad to be able to play the amount of games that we do. So if you're looking at some of the changes that have been made today, so Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, do you think that is a case of rotating the players for the team or resting the players for Wednesday night's game? I think, especially with Kevin, I think it's resting him. You know, he's been in sensational form. He has over the last couple of weeks. He seems to keep getting little niggles in his ankle, you know, and with the luxury another week there to take him off quite early in the game. You know, Watford last week, you know, after about 60 minutes. So I think it's pretty clear that the form has been in, but the injuries and illness he's had at the start of the season, you know, wrap him up in cotton wool from now to the end of the season. Bernardo Silva as well, you know, the amount of energy, the amount of distance, the amount of work rate that he does, you know, it'd be good for him to get a little rest, especially going to the Bernabeu. And then Riyad Mahrez is more often than not has started the Champions League game and been a big player for us in there, and Zinchenko the other night was excellent. So a little bit of both, resting, but flipping the team round as well, because we want to win today. It's not a case of bringing players in and weakening the team. That's still a strong team to go out and get the 3 points.
I imagine it's really hard as a player, Joleon, because I presume you just want to play every single game. So is there a point where you have to be pushed into resting your body?
Yeah, definitely, that will be the case. But these players will be used to that now. Like, that was probably a hard thing when I joined the club, is that kind of rotation policy was just coming into football more so. It used to be kind of you play well, you stay in a team. That wasn't the case. As we got a bigger squad and obviously high quality of players, the manager just picks a team dependent on the opposition and who he feels will win. And obviously that's what he's doing today. So, listen, I'm sure the lads that are on the bench will all want to play, but they're aware of what's at stake. And if you miss Leeds, which is a huge game today, let's not just look forward to Wednesday's game. It's a huge game today, but if you miss today and you're playing against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, it's not a bad outcome, is it?
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. A huge game today that we need to stay completely focused on. So in terms of today's game, Dickie, looking at that back four, so we of course know the situation with Kyle Walker. He's definitely out for today. Pep did suggest he's out for Wednesday as well. John Stone's out for today. So Cancelo in the right back position, Diaz, Laporte, and then we're thinking Ake in the left back.
Yeah, and Nathan Ake, I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done. Talking about not always playing and rotating, and whenever he's come in, whether it been at centre half and especially left back, which isn't his natural position, I think he's been outstanding. It says a lot about him as a professional as well. Diaz, Laporte, they pick themselves. With John Stones being out and Cancelo, obviously with Kyle being out, we all know. And it's no disrespect to Nathan Ake. If Kyle's fit, Cancelo goes in the left, and that's probably our strongest back four. But no, it looks really strong. Rodri, again, like Nathan Ake, he's been absolutely outstanding, protecting the back four as well. So, we say it's a back four, but Rodri slots in there whenever he's needed and covers and puts out little fires left, right and centre to help the defence out.
I fully agree. I'm a huge fan of Nathan Ake this season. I think, the mental resilience that he's and also just to stay so fit and ready to play, Joleon. I think he deserves so much credit. Yeah,
that is a thing that is probably taken for granted, is the availability of players, and then obviously the capacity to perform. He's not just available. When he plays, like I said, he plays well. So the versatility helps. I'm sure that was part of the recruitment, in why they recruited him to cover multiple positions. He can even play midfield as well, which he's done for the national team. So he covers a lot of bases when needed. But when he plays, he performs well.
It must be difficult for him as well, because he is first and foremost a centre half. Yeah. To get the left-sided centre half to go out to left back. I mean, you're left-sided.
I've done that. I've played left back more times than I would have liked. But yeah, as you said, there's certain elements to it that he probably enjoys, because you get to the 1v1 battles a lot more, which is what I like to do. Going forward, you get to run forward, which is nice. But again, there'll be elements that he likes. But if you give him the choice, I'm sure he's going to say, "Yeah, I want to be a centre half." And again, I know he's played there for the national team, so he's not out of water. He's not out of his depth. He's an international footballer and that plays for a good team and can play at left back.
In terms of the right side today, so Cancelo playing there, Paul, is there any difference tactically when Cancelo plays right back or when Walker plays right back? Does it make any difference to what goes on that side ahead of them?
I don't think it makes that much difference in the right-hand side. I think when Cancelo plays left back, tactically, he tends to tuck in more when he's playing left back. And you see him, he plays like a left winger more often than not. But I think when he plays on the right-hand side, whether it's going to be Gabby or Phil or Riyad at times or Jack Grealish in front of him, I think he tends to let them do a lot more of the attacking, whereas on the left-hand side you see him bobbing up in the middle of the park, you see him on the edge of the box, you see him all over the place. And I think it gives him a bit more freedom playing the left-hand side, but he's just a fantastic player. We all know that he's very versatile. We all know that he's a big attacking threat for us, albeit from fullback.
You mentioned Gavi there as well. He's in sensational form right now. I brought him into my fantasy team this week, Joleon, because I felt like he was like one of the only definite starters, and I'm happy I did, because he's in great form. Yeah, I think he's going to get me some points.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Hopefully he scores. But yeah, his confidence won't be any higher than it is as of now. His performance, not just his goals, in both the games last week, exceptional. What did he in total? He had 5 goals and 3 assists, I think, over the course of 2 games. So as a forward player, not just a striker now, because that's what they're classed as, forward players, he's been remarkable. And I still think he's a player you would enjoy to have in your team. He definitely similar to Paul, like scores goals, but works so hard for the team and he's selfless. I think players appreciate that more than anything.
I'm a massive fan of his, and it winds me up. I don't really think he gets the credit he deserves from outside the club. I'd done something the other day there and I was saying, that was his first goal since January, but he's been injured a lot.
They manipulate the stats the way they want.
But I think away from anything else, Pep plays him in the big games.
Yeah.
You look at the Liverpool games
He's
this
reliable.
season and last season.
In Chelsea,
Absolutely.
early in the season.
Yeah. Real Madrid a couple of seasons ago, scored in both games. Real Madrid here, scored again. You know what I mean? And that speaks volumes. It doesn't matter what MDL says, if Pep's picking him in the big games. And he will benefit now of getting a run of games in the teams. And as Joleon said, his confidence will never be higher. The goals and assists that he's getting at the minute, he's been sensational, and I think he's been fantastic since he came into the club. And I'd like to see him get him a bit more credit.
I fully agree. I think outside the club often and in the media, people are too quick to sort of try and say that he's not Sergio Aguero. Well, we all know he's not Sergio Aguero. No one in this club thought he was Sergio Aguero. And I feel like just because he's a forward, they attempt to compare it.
Yeah, 100%. That's any position. That was the case with, say, it'll be the case with Kevin when he leaves. Who is it going to be Kevin? It was the case with Ruben, easy Vinny. They can still have an impact and be equally effective, but different styles. And I think, as I said, as City people, we see that. But outside, he has to be this. He has to look like the previous, otherwise it's deemed a failure.
Got a great stat for you. Gabriel Jesus is second behind Robert Firmino as the Brazilian with the most Premier League goal involvements. 86. So that's 57 goals, 29 assists he's had in the Premier League.
Yeah, but I reckon that's half the games.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I don't even have the games, but I agree.
I don't reckon it'll be even close in terms of the games that is compared to. Because, there was a spell when he was here with Sergio, and I was like, wow, you just score. You literally, you get on, when you're involved, you just scoring goals. And, he does so much more than just that. Like Firmino, obviously, he gets goals, but he's work rate for the team. And like I said, he's definitely one you want to play with, but I'd hate to play against him.
Seeing that goal there, it involved Jack Grealish, Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus getting the finish there. Great chance for Grealish and for Sterling today as well. Yeah,
well, they all started last week, so as much as we reminisce on the Real Madrid game, this is the front three that played last week and scored 5 goals. So it's like I said, it's changed from the week, but from the Premier League, it's the starting front three. So huge potential impact for them guys up front today.
And if he comes off the bench, Dickie, I've got another Brazilian stat for you all. Fernandinho needs to play just one more Premier League game and he'll set a record for the most Premier League appearances by any Brazilian ever.
He's just a legend, isn't he? Sensational, and captain fantastic on and off the pitch. Loved it when he came on the other night there at right back. The marauding, he was like a right winger, wasn't he, setting up Phil's goal. But he's just, look, for me, he's been in that position. He's been the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. Full stop for me. As in consistency, obviously winning trophies and everything else, but the influence that he's got in the changing room and out there on the pitch. And, it doesn't surprise me because he's played a lot of games since he's been here.
We'll talk a little bit more about the Real Madrid game later. Obviously, we have to. Sent shockwaves around the footballing world, didn't it? So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And do keep getting your WhatsApp questions into us as well. Now, it's time to play Who's Stat. This is, of course, our game where we give you 3 clues and you have to work out who the current or former Manchester City player is. Now, I've seen this and that's tricky, I think.
Is that the player, though?
The silhouette,
yeah,
yes.
It is. Okay.
So this Premier League winner has an affiliation with both Leeds and City. So the clue is very much in the wording of the question. We may have stretched the limits of the game today. I say no more. What are you both thinking?
I don't think he won the Premier League with either club either. Ooh. That's what ticked my box when you said you're stretching the game. I'm thinking he's not won it with either of these teams.
We do like to keep you thinking. We do like to keep you on your toes, Dickie. You got any ideas?
Premier League winner.
I've got a couple, actually.
I'm trying to figure out. That looks like he's an old kit, that, because their shorts are high. And that's a baggy shirt.
Well, we will give you another clue.
Yes.
Oh.
Affiliation, I know it is.
Okay, don't say anything yet.
I know it is.
Look at that smug face there. We'll tell you a little bit later on the second clue and then the third clue as well. So if you think you know who it is, you can also send in your guesses on WhatsApp. So we also have for you in a minute the Leeds starting 11. Out at Elland Road, though, the City keepers are out. They are warming up there on the pitch. And here comes your starting 11 for Leeds today. So your starting 11 is in goal, Meslier. Then it's Ayling, Firpo, Struijk, Cooper, Koch, Dallas, Phillips, Rafinha, Harrison and Rodrigo. Substitutes bench for Leeds. And that is Clausen, Lorente, Cresswell, Shackleton, Klisch, Bate, James, Gellart and Greenwood. So that is the Leeds United starting 11 and bench for today. Joleon, immediately, who stands out for you in that Leeds team is the one that we need to look out for?
You would say Rafinha. He's obviously probably their main goal threat, but also Jack contributes a lot. And having worked with him and knowing him, he'll be eager to impress today. But they're a good team, aren't they, Leeds? Like, obviously, they're not as gung-ho in terms of their approach. They've changed it slightly from the Bielsa, a bit more structured, but probably not as dominant or prominent in terms of scoring goals. But again, Calvin Phillips is back. Obviously, can control games. So there's a number of players there.
But you mentioned Rafinha and Phillips, both of them, Paul, heavily linked with moves away from Leeds. Obviously, they're in a relegation battle. It depends what happens, but they may be trying to hold on to those quality of players in the summer.
Yeah, and they are quality players as well. You know, Calvin Phillips has been a huge miss for them all season. Maybe Liam Cooper as well, you know, at the centre half. They too, you know, they went through a stage there where they conceded, was obviously 7 against us, but then Tottenham beat them 5. They were conceding so many goals. But the spine of the team was out in Cooper, Calvin Phillips and obviously Bamford up top, who they've missed. So they've been a lot more solid since Jesse Marsch has come in. But Calvin Phillips for me, Rafinha's fantastic, Jack Harrison, everybody else, but yeah. Calvin Phillips, he's the one that knits everything together for them.
It potentially back 5 as well. Looking at the names, if Dallas, obviously he can play anywhere, but yeah, there's potentially 3 centre halves on there, 2 wing backs. So yeah, it may be a change in their formation as well.
So do send us in your WhatsApp questions for the gents if you got any thoughts on either of the teams today, or you just like to ask them anything about their careers, anything at all. You know, I like to test them. So get those questions in and I'll get through as many as possible. So you mentioned there, obviously, they have the newish manager, came in February, Jesse Marsch. Of course, we've played him before when we played Leipzig earlier in the season. He was their manager for our first Champions League game of the season, which of course was a 6-3 win for City. But then he was sacked in the December before taking on the job at Leeds. He's certainly having a difference. He's certainly having a noticeable difference from that team that was leaking goals all over the place, Paul. Leeds have actually only conceded 4 goals in the last 5 games. They've had 2 clean sheets as well. So he's definitely having a difference.
He has, and there's a much better structure to them, a better shape to them as well. You know, under Bielsa, I think we all loved the Bielsa ball at times, you know, that was man for man, but it left them so open at the back, and sooner or later top teams are going to take advantage of it. So the first thing he's done is come in, make them a lot more solid. It does help, and I'll repeat myself, having Cooper and Phillips back in there, because they're a big influence defensively for them. But he's done a really good job. He seems very likeable. The players seem to like him, comes across well in his interviews. And the one thing they will be today, and I think Joleon might be right, we might see a back 5 and them sitting and trying to hit us a bit more in the break. But being at Elland Road, you know, their fans, they want to see attacking football as well. They won't be happy with them just sitting in. So it'll be interesting how they line up.
Yeah, and he did say in his press conference and in interviews that he's done this week, Jesse Marsch had said that they're going to come out and they're going to have a go at us, that they're going to play their game and they're not going to change for us.
Yeah, you can say that in the build-up. The reality of that is totally different. Like, I personally don't feel any team wants to sit back on the edge of their box, but this City are so dominant, you don't have no other choice. Like, as a defender, playing against top teams, you kind of get the ball and it's like, I don't want to take a risk and end up in the goal, or to get it as further away as possible. So you just clear it and then it comes back again. So, yeah, I'm sure he has intentions of playing the way he wants to play, but there's not many teams that are or can play they want to play against Man City.
So they were in a real relegation battle when he came in, Paul. They still are. They're sitting above the relegation zone, depending on obviously the results today, and Everton play tomorrow as well. But 5 games unbeaten for them now. So they are turning it round. They are, and it is going to, of course, be a tough game today.
Yeah, it is. It's 5 games unbeaten, and said they're not conceding as many goals as they were. I mean, the goal difference is ridiculous. I think it's minus 46 or 47. So, and that was the first thing I had to sort out, was get back to basics, keeping clean sheets, because I think there was a stage just before he came in where they were losing 4 and 5 goals every single week, and it looked as if their certainties to go down. So the first thing he's done is come in and just made them a lot more hard to break down, made them a lot harder to beat. And once you do that, then you can start focusing on the attacking side of it. But you can't focus on the attacking side of it if you're conceding 3 and 4 goals every week.
I think they conceded 20 goals in February, which is crazy. That's not a recipe for success, that, is it? So, yeah, he had to address that. And as much as there was plaudits for Bielsa, as an ex-player, I was like, no way is that a style that is sustainable. You just can't operate like that.
What do you mean?
Like, it looks great for a fan and for a neutral. You just can't operate. To play man for man, you're going to need 7 or 8 of the best players on the pitch every week to win, and that's if they're in the right areas. If you've got the best 4 defenders, you may not concede, but you still may not score. So he just exposed so many players for their vulnerabilities, in my opinion. I was just like, this is something I wouldn't want to be a part of, to be honest.
I remember the 7-0 game here, and it was embarrassing from Leeds' point of view, because all tactically from Pep it was great, but the 2 central midfielders in front of Rodri, they went and played wide, and their 2 central midfielders went with them. The gap in the middle of the park from box to box, it just gave us the free rein to go and play, And
I know he gets a lot of credit, but I was like, well, no, why does no one else do it then?
Yeah.
If it's that great, why does no one else operate like that? Or why is it not a successful philosophy? Like, there's a limit, because you can operate to a certain extent, but when you get to the Premier League or an international level, the players are too clever. Technically as good, but so intelligent, you just can't be giving people half chances, never mind opportunities to just run through your team.
And the players seem to be enjoying it a lot more, having that structure, because you do as players, don't you? You want to be told what. I don't care what MD says. You want a bit of help, and you want to be told what to do and where to go at certain times.
We're a team,
and you appreciate absolutely.
We're a team, And as a defender, I want to keep a clean sheet. As much as you want to score, I want to keep a clean sheet. So if you're not giving me the opportunity to do that, I'm not going to enjoy it.
How difficult would it be for players that have been doing this man-marking system for Bielsa's whole time to then suddenly switch to
Hard.
Is it tough?
Yeah, it will be, because, again, having worked with some players in 21s and seen habits that they've developed or they have due to the coach, and it's good that they're able to do it because it means they're coachable. So that is a good thing, that you're able to implement what you're being asked. But in terms of now converting back, because there'll be obviously different learning speeds of some of them. So some of them may be learning faster than the others, so they'll still be doing off the old traits, and then some of the players off the new ones. So there'll be slight inconsistencies, but yeah, it's not as fast as next week we're just going to go back to normal.
It'll be difficult for them, but I really do think they're relieved that they don't have to do it anymore. And let's just say there's 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games, unbeaten, something like that. That's the same group of players.
Yeah.
That have been doing it before, so they've obviously bought into it very quickly.
Yeah. So they are 5 points above the relegation zone at the moment, Joleon. They've got Arsenal and then Chelsea after us. Do you think they can survive?
Yeah, I do. It gets to this stage of the season where it's not necessarily just like how good you are, it's how bad potentially the other teams are. So I don't think they need many more points to stay up, to be honest. Do I see them winning today or even the next 2 games? No. But I don't think that will be a problem. I think they still stay up off the back of the other teams having to put 2 or 3 wins together in order to catch them. So, yeah, I see them staying up.
I think having that 5 points, 5 games to go, I think they only probably need a couple of points max with what's happening below them at the minute to do that. I think the last 2 games are Brighton and Brentford, so you would expect them to pick something up and have more than enough to stay up. But also, like Joleon says, the teams below them are struggling, they're poor, and they've got hard runnings as well.
Yeah.
So at Elland Road, City are out now. They are warming up. There's Phil Foden. There's our Phil. What a man. Do you know what? I did think he looked a bit tired towards the end of the game on Wednesday, Joleon.
Why?
I don't know. If he just looked a bit like on Tuesday even. It was Tuesday, wasn't it?
He might have been. He's allowed to be, if he was. You know what I mean? But
he's not allowed to ever be tired.
He's obviously not that tired because he's playing today, and Pep wouldn't have picked him if he thought he was. But yeah, he may have been tired, but what that occasion would have done to you anyway. Like, that was a unique scenario where it's Real Madrid semi-finals of Champions League, your favourites, and you're playing for your boyhood club. So I can imagine his emotions or adrenaline would have took him to a new level.
To be fair, I was absolutely shattered, and I did nothing. I watched it.
And
I was exhausted.
Yeah, to be fair, I was pretty drained after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really good night's sleep that night. So the players are out there. It is 5:30 kickoff today. And City fans will be in Elland Road today. It is the first time in 18 years that City fans will be in Elland Road watching their team. Do you guys remember the last game? Any ideas? If I tell you 22nd of March 2004? Remember Nope. This is going to be great because we have a game coming up for you both. So this is the 22nd of March 2004. Leeds won the game 2-1 thanks to that free kick from Stephen McPhail, and then a penalty coming up from Mark Viduka. Now, that win for Leeds lifted them off the bottom of the Premier League table, but they did, of course, get relegated at the end of that season. So I'm so glad you can't remember it because we have a little game for you now to play. We're really going to test your memory. We're going to test your memories at home as well, because we want to know, can you name the starting 11 from that day? Look at Joleon's face. Amazing. Amazing. Don't worry, we've got some
I couldn't
clues.
name you the starting 11 from the first game of the season.
No, exactly.
Well, we're going to help you out, don't worry.
Yeah, give us the names.
We're going to help you out. Right, play along at home as well. See how you get on.
Oh,
so,
David
there's
James.
your positions, and there is your country flags for the players. So that's their nationalities. So, you're going David James.
Yeah.
Danny Mills.
Okay.
Richard Dunn.
See, there you go. You do know. Don't scorn the game.
The other centre-back is Distan.
Right, so so who did you say? Did you say Richard Dunn? They said Richard Dunn and Danny Mills. And then you've got...
Belgium.
Okay, give them a second to catch up. Hold on, give them a second.
Yeah. Come on, team.
What was it called?
Who, the centre-back?
Yeah.
Oh.
What was it called?
Now,
He may have played for
it's
Wolves.
not Danny Mills.
It's not Danny
Right
Mills.
wing back, not Danny
okay.
Mills.
Left wing back,
English.
Tarnat.
Is the left wing back Tarnat? Yes, it is. Very good. Right. Let's have a look at any other... No, come on.
Wouldn't have got him. Distan was in there.
Centre back, yeah. French flag, centre back.
We got it, Distan.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, we got that. I seen the armband.
Right.
Oh, centre back, good long hair.
Do you know the flags, by the way?
Oh.
Is that helping?
Yeah, I do know the flags. Thank you very much.
Any other ideas?
Anelka must have been a striker.
Sibierski.
Yeah, Sibierski. I've seen him in there.
Anelka was a striker. That is a great shout. Sibierski as well. That is a great
Joey Barton,
shout.
midfield.
Joey Barton was in midfield. See, you mocked my game and now you're thriving on it. Now, you've mentioned... Have you mentioned...
Yeah.
Or was it when we were chatting before, you've mentioned an English player that is in there?
Dan Huckerby.
Darren Huckerby. Nope.
Wait, did we not say Joey Barton's not in there?
Robbie Fowler.
Joey Barton.
Robbie Fowler.
Oh, Joey Barton is there. Robbie Fowler's in there as well, Paul. Yes. Right, so we're missing
French centre
3
midfielder.
players.
Is that French, though? It's not French, is it?
No.
Okay.
What is that? Yugoslav?
Oh, no, I feel like, you said Sibierski?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got Sibierski's there. Oh, yes, there he is. Yep. Okay. So, we've got a Dutch flag, a Belgian flag, and an English flag.
Paul Bosvelt.
Paul Bosvelt. Yes, Dickie. Yes. Okay, 2 to go, and you're going to kick yourselves on the right wing back.
Nadum?
Nope.
Micah?
No.
Nope.
This is pre-Micah, this. He would have been in school. Probably still able to play.
Do you want some thinking time on it, or do you want some guesses? Do you want us to come back to it in a bit?
No.
No, you don't. No,
I don't really operate like that. No. So I might smash something if we don't get this.
These poor trophies, we just won them.
Yeah.
Quick. The centre-back there, he wasn't with us very long. Everybody absolutely loved him.
I can't remember. His name's on the tip of my tongue.
Played for Bayern as well. Oops.
Played for Bayern?
Yeah. I'll kick myself when this comes out.
And I'll give you a hint on the right wing-back, Paul. Makes you look tall.
Sean Wright-Phillips.
Yes.
I was going to say Sean as a striker. Sean, you're right. Sean,
So just the one.
Yeah.
We might, do you know what? We might not tell you right now. We might see if anybody at home can help you out.
Yeah.
Your team, because you're a part of a team.
Yeah, it's true.
You're part of a team with
I forgot
you
who was
at
out
home.
there for everyone else watching.
Yeah.
Just thought it was us.
Not Van Houten.
Van someone, yes. Yes, Van someone.
Yes.
Well, most Belgians.
Right.
Van the man, his name would have been at some point, so yeah.
Can anybody at home help the team out with the centre?
Van Boyton.
He's got it!
Boyton,
Yes. Dickie, I swear you should do like mastermind for like city
quizzes.
knowledge of like
I love my
2004-3, yeah.
I only remember him because I would love to have played against him, so I could have pulled his hair, 'cause it used to really wind me up for a centre half. It was too good looking for a centre half.
Oh, I love
Maybe
him.
not in that picture.
Oh, that tickled me. Okay. I really liked him as a player, by the way.
I've never seen you do that. I never said I didn't. Come on,
Okay, all right. You've tickled me now. I need to get my thoughts back together. Right, there's Calvin Phillips, obviously, that we were talking about a little bit earlier on. It is a 5:30 kick-off today, so you've got another half an hour of me laughing here if I can't stop before the kick-off today. Now, of course, we keep mentioning it because it's hard not to, but on Tuesday night, City took on Real Madrid in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final. And of course, we won the game 4-3. It was an absolutely sensational game, although probably more so for the neutral, I would think, because I'm still not totally sure how I feel about it. I feel like I'll make my decision. So
after the outcome.
Yes, exactly.
No, but that's I think we need to put things in perspective. Like we spoke earlier, Nat, like they have won this competition more times than we've been in the competition, and we were favourites, and we beat them. Like we didn't lose 4-3, we won 4-3. So yeah, it could have been more, but this is Real Madrid. Like you can't not be happy with a victory over Real Madrid. Just don't see.
For me, I just think it's very similar to the Atletico game. You know, we're going there by one goal. There's no away goals. Yeah. We're going there by one goal lead. I still believe, even after the other night, that we're the better team. We created the better chances.
Yep.
People say, yeah, they scored 3 goals. One was an unfortunate penalty. I can't remember Ederson having a save to make.
No.
I know they've still got to convert their chances, but I just felt we were so dominant throughout the game. And look, when you play Real Madrid, the players, the Modric's, the Vinicius Juniors, the Benzema's, they're going to have a spell within the game where they're going to look quality. But I just thought, as a team, I thought we were outstanding.
Yeah,
finished.
Again, that's why I love him playing as a centre forward, because I don't think defenders understand how strong he is and the difference between playing against a forward and a striker. It's totally different. Like he wants to back in, fill you, use that as momentum, roll you, and get a shot off. Where a forward's probably, or winger's probably trying to control that and just get a nice touch. He's like, no, I'm trying to score from this opportunity, and defenders are trying to win it. And as I said, but this wasn't a chance. This was just a cross in the box, near the box, and he's one of the best, if not the best striker in the world at the moment.
At the minute, he is. But going back to Gabby, he's a lot stronger than what people think he is as well.
Ridiculous.
And he must be a nightmare to play against, especially once he can feel you in and around the box. Yeah. You're in trouble as a defender. But
because he did it just before that to Militao. He literally got in the box and rolled him, and I was like, oh, you've just used the momentum on him then. And obviously then Alaba's not realised that's what he's doing. But listen, like, what is a good thing is the goals and the situations we created, we do that regular. The goals we conceded, we don't concede them regular. So that is the thought process I'm taking, is that everything we did going forward was normal, and we just had an offish night defensively, But that can happen against top teams. But I don't expect that to happen again. But I also expect us to create opportunities to score.
Thing is, and you know what it's like, as much as they know that they would have got a lifeline from that game, we're getting, especially the third goal to make it 4-3. As players, you're on the changing room when you've played against a better team. And they will know that we were the better team and that they got away with it. And going into the game, the Bernabeu, as Joe rightly said, we will play the exact same way. And they will know that, and that will affect them a little bit.
I felt the same after the Liverpool game, also when we drew them 2-2. I left the game thinking we were definitely the better team there. I think perhaps I'm still feeling a bit weird about it, because it did feel like we were the better team. We had chances that we missed. They didn't have a lot of chances. But the one goal still leaves me on edge going into the second leg.
And I don't understand that if there was the away goal rule. But there's no rule, so what? Do you think they win that game 1-0?
No.
There you go. But you're not. I know you're saying it like that, but you honestly don't think we're not going to create enough chances to score. They have to win, and we can. And we have. If we get one, they have to get two. Then it's that simple. It's just there's no away goal, which is a massive plus for us. So. Yeah, I'll be a lot more nervous if they had 3 away goals than they carried.
Oh, definitely. Right, we're going to have a look at this penalty. So he's missed his 2 before this, Paul.
3 days before.
3 days before. This is 4-2. He steps, how? What? I was almost although I'm upset watching it back, I'm almost laughing. How has he got the nerve?
I didn't, but I wanted to stand up and applaud him. Because it's just, he's a world-class player, and to have the confidence in your own ability to do that after missing your 2 previous penalties at that stage in the game as well, away from home, it just shows you
he's my favourite
his mentality. I think he's the best.
Even before this season, I've been a massive fan of his for years. Sami Nasri's really close with him, and I used to talk to him about Benzema all the time. I'm a massive fan, and that didn't surprise me at all. But his confidence, like we spoke about Jesus, his confidence this week, he's had that confidence all season. So that, again, great execution.
Real Madrid are playing Espanyol today. They could win the league, and they've rested Benzema.
Yeah, that's the only slight worry. Is not that they've rested him. They're coming off a title win. Yeah. We're still in the height of it all. They could win the league today.
Maybe that goes in our favour, because we're still on that level where we got to keep going.
Yeah. But they're coming they could potentially coming in with a new level of confidence. Maybe a hangover. I doubt it. I doubt you win 13 Champions Leagues if you're celebrating mid-season. But
that's what I went wrong.
Thank you. Yes, I'm sure on Thursday I will be looking back on the highlights of that game and absolutely loving it. Now, other highlights that I will be looking back on and absolutely loving include our academy games from last night and from today. Now, we cannot actually show you all the goals because it would take the entire hour programme. But last night, the under-23s won 7-0.
He was special.
7-0 last night.
Yeah, I came to the game and Cole enjoyed himself last night, to be fair. He created a lot of opportunities and great free kick.
Look at the football, though. It's like watching the first team, isn't it?
It's exactly like watching the first team, to the point of where you can see that the oppositions obviously are not operating at their first team's level. Not that we are, but it's the same patterns and the same level of ideas. It was impressive, really impressive, to be fair.
So last night they lifted the trophy as well, their Premier League trophy that we can see here next to us. It was just, what a spectacular game to finish, to lift that trophy on, Joleon. Yeah,
obviously they all look like they enjoyed themselves, all got minutes, and like I said, you can see them enjoying it because they've achieved something there. They should be celebrating, but the consistency these boys operate at is ridiculous.
The winning mentality that we are teaching in every level of this club is
mad, and it's crazy because I think Pep has the best win percentage in football. It's like 75%. I think Sir Alex was say 65. Our academy has 85%. That is ridiculous. 85% of the games they win.
That is reflected by these trophies that we have here next to us. So the Premier League 2 trophy, we have the Under-17s trophy, and then we have the Under-18s Premier League North trophy plate, all super shiny and new here for us today. Now, the under-18s secured their Premier League North Division win midweek when our nearest rivals Liverpool were defeated by Nottingham Forest. They were then able to lift the trophy early today after their, get this everybody, this is not a mistake, 13-0 win against Newcastle. 13-0. We can't show you the goals. We don't have time. But you can get the highlights all on City Plus. Watch them all on there. I did get to see some of them earlier. It was hard to keep up because they kept scoring. 13-0, Paul. What an incredible team. Like Joleon said, it's winning throughout.
Every 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You do the maths there.
Every 8 minutes.
Nice.
It's not normal, that is it?
No, it's not. And look, it's fantastic. It just shows you that the academy's bearing the fruits when it was first done. You know, and it's okay winning things and everything else, but more importantly, you know, there's three of the kids who were involved in the game last night are on the bench for the first team today, which is yet again fantastic. So they want to win things, they want to win the league, but it's progression into the first team. And a lot of the boys that played last night are already in and around the first team training and getting a taste for what it's like. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You know, when whether it's the 23s or the 18s, it's progressing, getting that route into the first team, which as a club we've already shown it's there for them.
Absolutely. I just love that, the fact that they played last night. They lifted the trophy last night and they're on the bench today at Elland Road. Just absolutely incredible. So a huge congratulations to everybody involved at the Academy on all of the success that they have all had. This is a little bit earlier on. There they are lifting it. I feel a bit bad now because they lifted it and then we nicked it straight off them to bring here into the studio. Like, that was it. It was like, no, that's enough now. You've had a look at it and we've got it in here today. But look, you can see what that means to them as well. So that is the under-18s winning the Premier League North. So it was 13-0. There was 2 hat-tricks in the game. You have to get on City Plus to just enjoy it. Watch the future. Watch the whole game back. You need to watch the whole game. You can't skip because you'll miss a goal. So that is available on City Plus. Meanwhile, the men team are playing at 5:30, of course, in the Premier League. So you've got 20 minutes until kick-off. You can see the stadium starting to fill up and City fans are there since the first time since 2004. Now, I'm going to say a number for you now, and as soon as I say it, you'll get goosebumps because I'm not sorry to admit it happens to me every time. It might be 10 years, but if you say 93-20 to me, my body immediately produces goosebumps. One of the most, if not the most iconic moment in Premier League history. Of course, the 10-year anniversary is coming up in a couple of weeks. And so, of course, the Incredible City Studios have made a wonderful, wonderful documentary all about it. Have a look at this little teaser.
The game at Norwich away was impressive in every way, just to be a part of it as well. Everything seemed to flow, and that game, to be honest, stands like a piece of art a little bit. It really does. It was so effortless, and it was such a good display from everyone.
It's Tevez. It's Aguero! Oh, it's an absolute beauty! That was nothing short of breathtaking.
One of the best I've seen. I mean, they literally destroyed Norwich that afternoon by themselves. I mean, we were looking at the back to each other like, what is going on with these two? I think, what have they eaten today? I mean, it just is unreal. They were flying.
That's not enough on that. And Carlos Tevez will go away from Carrow Road with the match ball. Something of a gift about the third. Months on the golf course, but back in business.
I think City fans are probably going, you know, always forgiven her. The fact, I mean, that golf swing is incredibly cheeky. You know, he's been away for almost 6 months and comes back in and goes, yeah, and, you know, I know I've been away, but look at this.
To be honest with you, I really wasn't happy with it at the time, if I'm being honest. I just thought it was it really got on my nerves, which people told me to chill out about, but that's fair enough, really. But I didn't like it, personally. But I loved the result, and I loved the way he played. So, yeah, no worries with that.
Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like
So that is the new 9320 documentary, a little teaser of it that will be coming out very, very soon. So the game mentioned in that little teaser for you was Norwich. That was 5 games to go until the end of the season. It is, of course, 5 games to go today until the end of the season. The difference being this year, this time round, we are 1 point ahead. Now, after that game back in 10 years ago now, Joleon, it took us 2 points behind United after we'd won that game. That Norwich game is really renowned because of how incredible the attacking performance was. No offence, somebody else.
I cleared one off the line that game, just so you know. I did clear one off the line. So
Sorry,
yeah,
clean sheet as well.
Clean sheet. That's what I mean. Yeah. So here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry about it.
It's all about forwards. It's all about forwards.
Sorry, but that was it. But hold on.
Yes. Here we go. I'm glad
Here
you put this out, Graham.
Respect.
Then it goes up towards the far post again.
Just do your job.
Oh, who's that there? Who's that there?
Big man, Joe. I know Joe was just like going to keep me involved. You know what I mean? So yeah, we worked closely on that.
Do you remember anything about that game?
I remember the goal that we showed there of Sergio and the celebration. I hear the fans saying they weren't a fan of that. We loved it. Like Carlos was like he's a legend for us, and this club should be, because prior to that, the domination in terms of the league season, he carried this on his back for a while. Like, yeah, them two up front, crazy. I remember thinking there, what is the keeper doing? Because that goes like a little bit across him, but nah, yeah.
I thought he was sensational, Carlos Tevez.
Yeah, he was. Like that front four was Sergio Aguero, Carlos Tevez, David Silva, and Samir Nasri.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we just push Yaya up there later on and say, go on, have a run around.
Oh my goodness. What was it like in the squad at that time, knowing that we were doing well, we were on a brilliant run, but we were still behind United? Was there just a clear sense of belief the whole time?
Yeah, but not like, oh, we're definitely going to win it. It was just a case of, what do we need to do? We need to win our games and make sure we're in contention if they slip up. Because we knew that it was kind of unlikely they were going to, because they'd been in that scenario like multiple times. So that was the surprise, is that they dropped points. Like, we knew we could win our games, and if they did, we'd be ready. But it was a slight surprise when I think they lost to Wigan.
Yeah, it was Wigan, or was it? It was a loss or a draw, but it was
lost
Wigan,
to Wigan, yeah. And then that was when it was real. And then we was on the way to Wolves, and they drew to Everton at home. So if we beat Wolves, we're in control, because we've got to play them.
I don't look. There was some unbelievable players. Did Carlos coming back give you a little bit of?
Yeah, because it was funny, because obviously whatever happened with Carlos, he came back, and I think he was more nervous of how we were going to take to him. But we love Carlos.
He was so popular, wasn't he?
Yeah, we loved him. Like, so.
You loved him as a person and a player.
Yeah, everything. Like, he gave 100% to every game. So, like, there was no doubt that we knew he wasn't going to come on and come back and not perform. And then he had it in his head that he wanted to win us back, even though he didn't have to. And then he contributed. The first game back was Chelsea, and he set up Samir. So instantly he was obviously back involved in the goals. But yeah, Carlos was, what a legend.
He was at the Liverpool semi-final, because he was posting a picture of him and I think one of his children on his social media accounts.
I know, yeah. He went to the Atletico Madrid game as well. He came, yeah. And I think he's back up. We just got in a WhatsApp group, all of us.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
It's pretty, yeah.
It's class.
Yeah. Who's in this WhatsApp group?
That's ruthless as well, by the way.
Yeah, because there is some staff in there, so we've got to keep it PG at the moment. But when the end of the season comes and the group stays open, I'm sure that'll be just seeing the names made me smile. Like, literally, just seeing the names in the group, I was like, oh wow, because we all speak, but we've never had a group, and then now there's a group, and just voice notes are going in straight away from, like, Vinny and Micah had something that they used to say to each other, so that went in there, and then Kolarov saying stuff to everyone else, and it's just unreal. It just made me smile. It really made me smile.
I'm smiling just hearing you talk about it.
Yeah.
Who's like the number one, like, in it? There's always one person that's like on it and replies first.
Who was in it first? It might have been Joe, to be fair, because the weekend Joe's playing a game. So again, and Eddie's still playing. So them lads were saying they're just part of the group, but they may not be able to attend anything. But in regards to the rest of us, like, we can't wait. I can't wait.
I love it. Just hearing him mention the names, and it just makes me smile. Get onto mancity.com/9320 for all of the details. It makes me so happy hearing you talk about it. Now, Michael Brown is at Elland Road. He's going to be on co-comms today alongside Alistair Mann. You can get the full commentary on the Manchester City app. You know by now, the only place to get your commentary. Don't be going on social media complaining about other commentary you've listened to. Get it on the Man City app. Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. Here's Michael Brown's thoughts ahead of the game today.
Leeds, Manchester City, teams are just in. 3 changes for Leeds United, wondering why they were messing around, what they were going to change. I think notably to get some legs in the middle of the pitch for them, whether Robin Cogby, that holding player, Stuart Dallas, Calvin Phillips, obviously still missing Bamford, Noel Laurenti in the starting line-up in that defence, losing that little bit of experience for them. But for Manchester City, they know what they've got to do. Several changes again. Who's going to play that midfield role? Will Phil Foden drop in? Will Jack Grealish be that false 9? Gabriel Jesus on one side, Sterling on the other. I think that's most likely at this moment in time. Nathan Ake coming in at left back. So it'll be a real fascinating game. I think Leeds United are full of energy. They want to obviously get right at you, put you under the back foot, and with these changes and that extra dynamics in the middle of the pitch, they know Manchester City are going to control possession. So we could have goals. Hopefully we've got lots of them as usual here at Elland Road, but both sides are desperate for the points.
Michael Brown there looking like the silhouette from Who's Stat. And it is time for Who's Stat now as well. So here is your clue that you've already had, and we'll give you a new one. So the first one, this Premier League winner has an affiliation with both Leeds and City. Read it very nice and careful today. Clue 2. This former player's teammates included James Milner and Shay Given, but not at City. We're really stretching everybody today. Dickie's thinking. Now, obviously, you're the City mastermind, Dickie. Any ideas?
Yeah, go on, tell them. We're a team, so we got it.
Are you sure he played with Shea?
Yeah.
Oh, right. They think they've got it. Hold on, I've got another one for you. Here's your clue 3. See if this gets it for you. Clue 3. This former player has been at City since 2012 in a coaching capacity and had a big role to play in our recent academy success.
My old next-door neighbour as well, if you want to put that in there.
Oh, clue 4. Yeah. He's Paul Dickov's old next-door neighbour.
Who moved first?
Actually, there was... I don't know if I can tell the story.
Oh, yeah.
They're always the best ones.
There was
me,
what's
the time?
This person and Andrew Flintoff all sort of moved in at the same time. And this person couldn't keep up with their drinking, so he moved 6 months later.
That was why AJ moved in.
He had to get out. That was when AJ moved in, yeah.
For those paying attention, you may have just seen something.
Now he's looking after our kids.
Yeah.
I love that. 6 months next to Paul Dickov and he's moved away. Yeah. So do let us know. Well, you know who it was if you were paying attention there, but if you weren't completely paying attention, let us know who you think it is. Get those guesses in on our WhatsApp. So we are less than 10 minutes now away from today's kickoff at Elland Road. If you're just joining us, you are very, very welcome. Of course, Liverpool played earlier on today. They beat Newcastle 1-0. So they have gone above us in the league. But of course...
Do you think they're related?
It's Ray Parlour, isn't it?
Oh, these two. Okay. So we're about 9 minutes away. I'll give you the City starting 11 today in case you haven't seen it quite yet. It is Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Ake, Rodri, Gundogan, Sterling, Grealish, Jesus and Foden. Obviously we're seeing shots here of the Leeds fans. Elland Road's always quite famous for being quite a hostile place to go. Have you both played there?
Yeah, I've played there a few times. Hostile. Enjoyable, I would say. There's more hostile grounds you can go to. Listen, if it's going well for their team, they get behind them, and it's a hard place to play. But it was never an atmosphere where I thought, it made me nervous. More enjoyable. Similar to like a Newcastle. Yeah. Like I like playing at Newcastle. Intense atmosphere, but not like Anfield.
No, it's one of my favourite places to play. I used to get battered there. Even when
by the fans or the players?
By the fans. Even when I played for them, the fans used to batter me as well. But no, I think as Joleon said, if they're on top and they're playing well, they really get right behind them. But they can flip at the same time. If things aren't going their way and they're not getting what they want, they can quite easily turn on the team as well.
How do you think their fans will be feeling in about 2 hours, Paul? It's my way of asking you for a prediction for today.
Well, probably turn on them, but the Leeds fans, they'll, if it's Man City, like Man City come today and Man City win, they'll accept that. They'll know that Man City are the better team. So, are you asking me my prediction now?
Well, give us your final thoughts, and then we'll have a prediction.
As always, I just think if we play the way we can play, or anywhere near to the levels we can play, we'll win. I think with obviously Liverpool winning this morning, that little bit extra is going to be there to get back to the top of the league, and I'm going for a comfortable 3-0 win.
Oh my goodness! Okay, Joleon, what are you thinking?
That. Yeah, no. Again, similar. I feel the team out there is more than capable of scoring 3 goals. I just hope the Leeds fans leave there with the expected result, not the hopeful result. I think they hope to win, but they expect not to win. So I'm hoping that is the case.
What's your score prediction?
I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0, 3-0. Okay, I'll take either of them. Please. Right
take
now.
1-0.
Please, I'll take 1-0. I don't know if I'm a tick. I can't take it again.
No, we're not saying we're going to play it the whole. It's taken, so it's going to be 1-0 if you take a 1-0.
Okay, all right then.
We've got the points if it's 1-0.
Okay, I just want the points. Of course, you can catch this full game, highlights of the full game on City Plus from midnight tonight, and you of course get your commentary on the City Plus, on the City app with Alistair Mann and Michael Brown as well. So we are about 5 minutes away from kick-off. That is, of course, Elland Road that you're seeing. We'll all be back at half-time, but Joleon, Paul and myself will be here discussing the first half. And then, of course, we'll be back at full-time as well. So thank you very much for joining us on a very enjoyable, as always, Match Day Live. It's now time for us to hand over to the wonderful Alistair Mann and Michael Brown, who are going to be your co-commentary team for today. Good afternoon, Ali. Have a lovely day. Over to you.
Thanks, Natalie. Well, welcome to Elland Road for what promises to be yet another tense evening for City fans all over the world.
All good, mate.
With Liverpool winning earlier today at Newcastle, things